Yo, it's Elliot with Yo Elliot. You've got really complicated strength questions, and I'll give you a really complicated answer. Yo, Elliot. Alright, today's question comes from this kid who has scoliosis and he wants to balance out his physique. Check him out.
Hey Elliot, I'm 14, 117 pounds. I used to be 160 pounds 4 months ago, and I'm 5'4", and I was wondering if you could help me even myself out with congenital scoliosis. I can't get surgery anytime soon, and my doctor said it's good for me to work out so my spine doesn't get any crooked. And I was wondering if you can help me with this, with your workouts, and I was wondering if you could give me any special workouts or anything I could do just to make myself look even, because ever since I was in the process of losing weight, my back has been, well, everyone's been noticing my scoliosis, and yeah, well, see, just right here. See how this is bigger? Way bigger than this side. And yeah, it just yeah, and this is my back. See how this is bigger and this is way small? Yeah, I was wondering if you could help me out with this.
Alright, first thing, man, congratulations on all of your weight loss. That's really exciting. That means that you're committed, you're dedicated, you've got goals, and you're shooting for them. Now, before we get started, oh, and thank you for the video question. Before we get started with a few suggestions that I have that are going to help you with your congenital scoliosis and balancing out your musculoskeletal system, I created this quick diagram for you. Not the greatest artist, but hopefully this helps to give you a better understanding of what's happening with your neuromuscular system and how that scoliosis is affecting the size of your muscles. So, if you take a look at this red line here, this is the brain. This is your central nervous system. So it starts here, and this is your spinal cord. This is really where everything begins. This is where your nervous system, your brain, talks to your body, and it receives and gives messages to the muscle, to the organ, to the viscera, basically everything going on below the neck. This is like your telephone cord between the brain and the body. They talk to each other. Now, from the central nervous system, there's the peripheral nervous system that branches out into your muscle. It branches out into your heart, your liver, your stomach, your organs, your digestive system. It really just branches out and creates that web of communication. You could really just think of it as almost like telephone lines. You know, you've got central command and you've got telephone lines out everywhere, so that central command, central nervous system, can talk to the muscles, talk to the organs, and so forth. And they communicate back and forth. The brain tells the muscle to do this, and you smack this against something hard, this part of your body tells your brain, ow, that shit hurts, don't do it again. So there's a constant flow of communication. What's really important to note is that you've got gatekeepers. You've got a master of the central command, and you've got a master of the periphery, down here, the workers, if you will, the peripheral nervous system. Your two masters are your atlas. He's the gatekeeper for the central command, for the brain, for the thing that does all the most important parts of your physiology of a human being. Your brain dies, there's not much going on. You lose all electricity, you lose communication. And you got L5, which is also a central commander for the lower body. And these two guys, they talk to each other, basically like on walkie-talkie. Atlas talks to central command down below, L5, and says, hey, how are things going down there? Do I have to make any adjustments? L5 shoots back up, hey, Atlas, don't worry about it, or there's a problem, take care of this. They have a communication, or they have a relationship, a communicable relationship that's called the love-it-brother relationship. Kind of strange that they call it love-it-brother. I don't know why, but this is what I learned. So, between the two of them, if Atlas does one thing, L5 is basically has to submit. So if Atlas tells L5, look, dude, there are 4 things that have to get done for this human being to be fully functional and survive in nature or anywhere. These 4 things, I said 4, right? These 4 things are, I've got to breathe. Atlas makes sure that you can breathe. I'm going to tell you how. Atlas makes sure that mastication, not masturbation, but mastication is possible. That basically means, can you do this? Chew. You got to eat, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on down here if you can't chew food. And vision. You've got to see. You've got to see for survival, just to make sure that you're not being attacked, so that you can hunt, so that you can live a fully functional life. And hearing. And notice that these are all things that are happening up here. Breathing through your mouth, starts in the mouth, eyes, ears, chewing. If any of these 4 things cannot be, are hindered in any way, shape, or form, Atlas has to talk to L5 and say, hey, look, brother, I need you to help me out a little bit to adjust things so that I can continue to do the most important parts of the job. L5 will yell back up to Atlas and say, don't worry about it, dude. I'm going to make a few adjustments down here so that you can continue doing your job. So what this ends up looking like, and this is where your scoliosis comes into play, what this ends up looking like is a distortion below the neck, below the atlas. So everything below this point, this one vertebra, it will submit itself, will give itself up, will distort, will contort, will even your organs will fail. All types of weird things will happen down here. In order to keep your head, your eyes level to the horizon so that you can see, keep it so that your breathing pathways are open, so that you can hear, and so that you can chew. So, for example, if you have a hard time hearing in one ear, L5 will talk to, Alice will talk to L5 and say, hey, could you drop this hip a little bit? That way I can bring this shoulder forward and you can hear through the one ear. That's good. And people with a hearing problem on one side will have scoliosis. Those are more functional scoliosis as opposed to yours, which is congenital, you were born with. But this functional scoliosis will be a byproduct of their not being able to function or produce one of these functions. Now, you want to build muscle. I can tell you right now that building muscle and muscle tissue, muscle size, is way down on the priority list. I mean, you got organs that need to function well, your digestive system, your heart, your ability just to move, not much less building muscle, and all the things that I described before come first. Actually, to all you hard gainers out there that want to build muscle, building muscle comes way down on your body's priority list. So, for example, even reproduction is more important to your body than building muscle. So, like, if you can't get a hard on, don't even think about trying to build muscle. Basically means your testosterone and your anabolic hormones are low, and if your dick can't get hard, there's no way that your body's going to sacrifice reproduction, which is one of the major things that allows us to proliferate, for the building of some pecs. Make sense? A little bigger chest may help you get attention from chicks. You'll just have to use a little blue pill. So, where the hell am I going with this? So, all right, the communication, those wires, those telephone cords that are going out to everything, will shut off certain areas for communication. So let's say this side of your body is not being built up very well. You're growing muscle, this side of your body is doing well, this side is fading. That means that the Lubbock brother dudes decided, let's shut off some communication here. We need to sacrifice some energy, some chi, some life force, some nervous activation to these particular muscles, shut them down, sacrifice them so that the heart gets what it needs right now. So I don't know if you look deep, I don't know exactly why you have your scoliosis, You know, did you have a heart issue as a child, as a baby? Any organ problems? Did you have any, basically did it happen down here or up here? Did you have any breathing problems, seeing problems, hearing problems? Or were there organ or visceral problems? So that your body had to adjust itself so that you can continue to live and not necessarily worry about building muscle. So that doesn't answer your question. That was Elliott wanting to rant about how the nervous system works and the Love It Brother guys. Here's my suggestion with regard to you realigning your column, your spinal column, getting it so that you can free up some more communication to the muscles and whatever organs are associated with that shut-off. Because there's a viscerosomatic communication between your muscles and organs. So if you're getting shut off on certain muscles, there's a good chance that some organs are suffering also. Maybe your lungs, I don't know. But what we want to do is, and part of the reason why you're probably going to get surgery is, we want to realign everything so that you can now open communication back up. And this is very important because you can go and get surgery, and if you don't keep an eye on how your atlas is and your L5 are talking to each other, and you don't try to reintegrate certain nervous patterns, you may have never even had certain nervous system patterns because you've always had this dysfunction. What's going to happen is you're going to get lined up again. The physical pathway for the communication between your central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system will open back up. So there's a possibility for it to talk, but you won't have the habit, the nervous system habit. You'll have to reintroduce certain movement patterns. You might not even be able to shrug really well on that side. The movement might be restricted. It's restricted now mechanically, but also through the nervous system it may be restricted. You're just not getting the impulse. So you'll have to reintroduce all of that in order to really bring this side of your body back to life fully. What can you do now? You haven't had surgery yet. This is a long video. You haven't had surgery yet. So my suggestion would be to do your best to mobilize a number of things, obviously through the soft tissue, through your muscle, mobilize and move your column a little bit so that you can get some more free expression of that side of your body. That's going to look like stretching muscles that are tight and then reintroducing patterns to the side that had been inhibited because of the distortion. So, for example, I think you looked a little bit like this. This side of your body is receiving all of the communication. It's greedy. It's taking everything from your nervous system. You want to shut it down a little bit, believe it or not. So if you're really hunched over in this muscle, you might even get headaches. I'm assuming you probably get a lot of headaches because all the muscles on this side are just grabbing up on your head and pulling you out of balance. So what you're going to do is you want to spend a lot of time stretching all the muscles on this side of the body. Open it up, stretch your pec minor, and I'm just talking the upper body. I'm sure your hips are all twisted also. But from what I can see, this side you're going to want to stretch your pec minor, you want to stretch your biceps. You want to do everything you can to lessen the tonic expression, to lessen the nervous system driving into that side and leaving this side limp. So before you do any of your workouts, stretch this side. Then, and only then, does it make sense to do extra repetitions with your presses, with your curls, with your shrugs on the other side. Because now there may be a freer pathway, there's a freer expression for your nervous system to then go to this side of your body. Where right now, it's just driving all of your chi, all of your nervous energy, all of the power into one side. Hopefully that's helpful to you, man. If anything, I just want to be able to shed a little bit more light on what you're dealing with. Hopefully that gives you enough information that you can go and do something about it. I know you're getting surgery. I want to help you. That's why I made this video for you. For the rest of you that stuck around this long to watch this, I hope you learned something. I hope it was helpful for you. Resources, look up Love It Brother relationship. Look up Paul Chek's Totem Pole of Survival. A couple things that you may be interested in. And that's it. Keep sending your video questions. Got some new ones from you today. I got a bunch of want to crank out because I love doing these for you. Talk to you next time. Yo, Elliot!